General Eisenhower, he drew a line. The Elbe was the line. The Russians weren't supposed to come across, and we weren't supposed to get across, so that the two armies would stay apart from each other. When the captain was looking for a Russian linguist, he couldn't find anyone, and he turns to me. He said, "Cohn, come with me. I'm trying to get out of this," because I said, "Captain, I only know one word of Russian, and that's tovarish, friend. That's it." He said, "I don't care. Carry the map." I carried the map. Well, halfway through the river, he had ordered a German boatman to take him across, and he gets up in the middle of the river to make sure the Russians see that it's an American coming across. We get across, and you can't imagine the reception we received. They hugged us, they kissed us, they carried us around, and they plied me with vodka. I was 19 years old and never had a slug of vodka before. And I took one sip and I knew I better stay away from that stuff. But I had some cigarettes to reciprocate. And of course I was of no use to the captain. They had to take him to the rear where they found an interpreter. I stayed at the river's edge communicating with the Russian whose Nuncio took a shine to me. He said, "Me, Moscow." I said, "Me, New York." He said, "You come Moscow." I said, "You come New York." That's how we talked. Anyway, after a while, the captain came back and he was smiling. He was all happy. And we went across and we told about the reception we received, how great it was, and then you forget about it. And then a couple of weeks later, I wake up from a dream or whatever it was, and suddenly I had a recognition. I understood, why did we have such a reception? And it was really obvious if I had thought of it before. Because when the Germans moved into Poland and Russia, they mistreated the Russians terribly. So when the tide of battle changed and the Russians started to move against the Germans, they took their revenge on the Germans. So no German ever wanted to be taken prisoner by the Russians. They fought the Russians every inch of the way. They fought them all the way up to the Elbe. So when they finally saw an American uniform coming across, they recognized they had survived the war and they were celebrating their survival. That's why we got a reception of that sort.